time, our most precious resource, slipping away in a relentless current, never to return. The ancients understood this truth deeply, none more so than the Stoics. They regarded time not as something to be spent frivolously or traded away for fleeting pleasures, but as a sacred currency to be invested in our growth, our understanding of life, and our duty to fulfill our potential. In a world filled with endless distractions, we, too, must confront the unavoidable question: how are we spending our time? We live in a world of constant noise, where the trivial masquerades as important, and the significant often drowns in a sea of the mundane. Yet, despite this, we all have an underlying sense that there is something more. Beneath the layers of our obligations, desires, and fears, we know that time is ticking and our choices matter. But are we focusing on what truly matters? As we embark on this exploration of time through the lens of Stoicism, we will see that this philosophy offers not just answers, but a call to action, a demand that we regain control of ourselves and our time. The teachings of Epictetus, Seneca, and Marcus Aurelius guide us toward a life of focus, self-control, and resilience. But beware, this journey will not offer you comfort. It will strip away illusions and expose the harsh truths we must face if we are to reclaim our time and live with purpose. Part 1: The Tyranny of Distractions. What consumes our time today? If we are honest, it is often distractions, the constant lure of social media, trivial entertainment, idle gossip, and the never-ending pursuit of superficial pleasures. These distractions, though seemingly harmless, have a cost. They steal our focus, and with it, our ability to see what truly matters. Seneca, in his timeless work on the shortness of life, warns us of this very trap. It is not that we have a short time to live, but that we waste a lot of it. He speaks directly to us, across millennia, reminding us that life is long enough if we learn to value it, to use it well. But how many of us truly live with this awareness? How many of us, day by day, allow the trivial to rob us of our potential, our capacity for greatness? Distractions are the enemy of purpose. They are the sirens luring us away from the shore of meaning, and unless we resist their call, we will drift aimlessly, never reaching the harbor of fulfillment. As Stoics, we are called to cultivate apatheia, the state of being undisturbed by external events. This is not about indifference, it is about focus. It is about placing our attention where it belongs, on what is within our control. Marcus Aurelius, the philosopher-emperor, understood this deeply. In his meditations, he advises himself, "You could leave life right now. Let that determine what you do and say and think." This is the Stoic way, to live with an acute awareness of the brevity of life, to act with intention, and to focus on what truly matters. Every distraction we succumb to is a moment of life lost, a step away from our true purpose. Part 2: The Power of Focused Action. To reclaim our time, we must cultivate praeotes, the Stoic ideal of a calm and focused mind. This is not a passive state but an active, intentional discipline. We must learn to quiet the noise, to strip away the superfluous, and to focus on what lies within our control. This is the heart of Stoicism, the mastery of the self in the face of an unpredictable and chaotic world. Epictetus, one of the greatest Stoic teachers, gives us a simple yet profound framework. Some things are in our control and others are not. This distinction is the key to focused action. We waste time and energy when we concern ourselves with what lies beyond our control, the opinions of others, the outcomes of our efforts, the twists of fate. Yet, when we focus on what we can control, our thoughts, our actions, our reactions, we regain power over our lives. This principle of focused action demands that we become ruthless with our time. It requires that we ask ourselves, constantly, is this within my control? Is this worthy of my time? If the answer is no, we must learn to let it go, to release the grip of concern and anxiety that so often consumes us. We must direct our energy toward what truly matters, our personal growth, our duties to others, and our contribution to the world. But this focus is not easy to achieve. It requires discipline, a word that many shy away from today. In a society that glorifies comfort and convenience, discipline is often viewed as a burden, something unpleasant. But for the Stoic, discipline is freedom. It is the path to a life of purpose, to mastery over oneself. Marcus Aurelius reminds us that waste no more time arguing about what a good man should be. Be one. These words strike at the core of the Stoic philosophy. We do not waste time in idle contemplation or debate. We act. We live according to our values, here and now. We do not postpone our duties or our potential for another day. Each moment is an opportunity to live fully, to align our actions with our principles. Part 3: The Battle Against Destructive Emotions. If distractions are one thief of time, destructive emotions are another. Fear, anger, jealousy, regret, these emotions cloud our judgment, distort our perception of reality, and lead us astray from what is important. They consume our time, not just in the moments we are experiencing them, but in the aftermath, as we replay the events in our minds, reliving the pain and frustration over and over again. The Stoics understood that destructive emotions are born from false judgments. Epictetus teaches us that men are disturbed not by things, but by the views they take of them. It is not the events themselves that cause us suffering, but our interpretation of those events. We must learn to question our emotional responses, to examine the judgments that give rise to them, and to replace them with more accurate, rational ones. Anger, for example, is often a response to a perceived injustice. But if we examine it through the Stoic lens, we see that it is rooted in an expectation that the world or others should behave according to our desires. When reality fails to align with these expectations, we become angry. The Stoic response is to let go of these expectations, to accept the world as it is, and to focus on what is within our power, our response. Marcus Aurelius, in his Meditations, advises himself, the best revenge is to be unlike him who performed the injury. These words carry profound wisdom. Instead of being consumed by anger and seeking revenge, the Stoic focuses on maintaining his own integrity, his own values. He does not allow the actions of others to dictate his emotional state or his behavior. This mastery over destructive emotions is not just a philosophical ideal, it is a practical necessity. Every moment we spend consumed by anger, fear, or regret is a moment we lose, time that could be spent pursuing our goals, fulfilling our potential, and living according to our principles. Part 4: The Virtue of Purposeful Living. To live as a Stoic is to live with purpose. Every action, every decision, is guided by the question, does this serve my greater purpose? Does this align with my values? This is not a passive or theoretical exercise, it is a way of life. The Stoic does not drift through life, reacting to external events and circumstances. He acts with intention, with purpose, with clarity. Seneca speaks to this in Letters from a Stoic, where he writes, "Let us prepare our minds as if we'd come to the very end of life. Let us postpone nothing. Let us balance life's books each day." The one who puts the finishing touches on their life each day is never short of time. This is the essence of Stoic living, to act as if each day could be our last. Not in a morbid or fatalistic sense, but in a way that prioritizes what truly matters. When we live with this awareness, we stop wasting time on the trivial, the meaningless, and the fleeting. We focus on what is eternal, virtue, wisdom, and our duty to others. Purposeful living requires that we confront the uncomfortable truth of our mortality. Death is not something to be feared or ignored, it is a constant companion, a reminder that our time is limited. As Marcus Aurelius reminds himself, you could leave life right now. Let that determine what you do and say and think. This is not a call to despair but a call to action. When we live with the awareness of death, we are freed from the fear of it. We are able to focus on what truly matters, to live fully in the present moment, and to dedicate our time to what is meaningful. Part 5: The Legacy of Our Time. In the end, how we spend our time is our legacy. It is the mark we leave on the world, the sum of our actions, and the impact we have on others. The Stoics understood that our time on earth is short, but it is long enough to make a difference if we use it wisely. Epictetus reminds us, do not waste the remainder of your life in thoughts about others, when you do not refer your thoughts to some object of common utility. Our time is not meant to be spent in idle speculation or concern for the opinions of others. It is meant to be used in service of a greater purpose, in the pursuit of wisdom, virtue, and the betterment of humanity. As we bring this journey to a close, let us reflect on the wisdom of the Stoics and the urgency of their message. Time is fleeting. It is not something to be taken for granted or squandered on distractions and destructive emotions. It is a gift, an opportunity to live fully, to act with purpose, and to leave a legacy that matters. We are not helpless victims of circumstance. We are not slaves to our emotions or the opinions of others. We are Stoics, capable of mastering ourselves, focusing on what is within our control, and living with intention. Conclusion: the time to act is now. Our journey through the teachings of Stoicism has illuminated one undeniable truth: time is finite, and how we use it defines who we are. It is not enough to understand these principles in theory. The Stoic life demands action, purposeful, deliberate, and courageous action. We cannot afford to let the distractions of the modern world steal what is most precious to us. We cannot allow destructive emotions to cloud our judgment or lead us astray from what truly matters. The path of the Stoic is not an easy one, but it is a path worth walking. It is a path of self-mastery, where we take control of our thoughts, emotions, and actions. It is a path that requires us to confront the harsh truths of our existence, to face our mortality, and to live with purpose in the face of uncertainty. Yet, in doing so, we unlock the greatest freedom, the freedom to live fully, to focus on what is within our control, and to shape our lives according to the virtues that guide us. We stand at the crossroads of time. One road leads to distraction, waste, and regret. The other leads to focus, discipline, and purpose. The choice is ours. The Stoic way calls us to choose wisely, to act with intention, and to live in alignment with our highest values. We do not wait for tomorrow, for another time or another opportunity. As the Stoics remind us, all we have is now. So, let us stop wasting time. Let us rise above distractions, overcome our destructive emotions, and dedicate ourselves to what truly matters. In doing so, we not only reclaim our time but also our lives, our potential, and our legacy. This is the Stoic path. This is the way to live with meaning and purpose. Now is the time to walk it.